Welcome back to the Winner's Circle. I am Derek.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Cody.
And we're here. It's finally the day, the finale. We're going to talk about Traitors. We're going to find out who's going to take home the money tonight with you guys. If you haven't already watched the episode, you probably want to do that. Tiffany, what do they need to do before they watch this episode?
Before you watch this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And for those of you listening on audio, please go ahead and give us a 5-star rating.
Cody, where should they go to watch it if they haven't? I mean, we're really programming people here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like, are we getting paid by Peacock? Yeah. Do we get a percentage of the downloads that come from our channel?
Please? Technically, you kind of did.
No.
I mean,
kind of, yeah. I guess. But listen, all 10 episodes are out now on Peacock. Reunion show is coming up. We are filming. That is going to be dropping on Peacock as well. So if you haven't watched the season, everybody that watches it is raving about it. It's all over the news. There's a ton of articles on it. Read the articles. They're all good. This show has been killing it in the US. The show has been killing it in the UK. It is definitely a must watch. So if you haven't done so already, download Peacock. Binge all 10 episodes this weekend and be ready for the reunion that is going to be coming out the 28th.
Okay.
Is there going to be drama?
Man. I can't imagine there not being drama. You know what I mean? Like, so let's start it off with the reunion, or do you want to finish it with that?
I mean, I think we should end it with the reunion.
No, we should end it
with the reunion
because stuff happens in the.
There's going to be stuff that happens, and I do think to Tiffany's point, I do think 100% based on how this show ended, there's absolutely going to be some questions that need to be answered. I don't know if they've been answered off record, amongst people, but I absolutely think that some people are owed some explanations. And I do think because Traitors is such a condensed show that we didn't really get to see everything because it's constantly moving. So I definitely want to talk about the episode. Let's get to the winner. Then we can talk about potentially what could happen at the finale as far as the reunion show, and then what might happen for next season, because as we already mentioned last episode, Traitors season 2 has been greenlit. It is happening. You are going to see another season of the show. We're really happy about that. So I think we should dive right into it. But before we do, let's hear from this week's sponsor, GlassesUSA.com. All right. Have you guys seen the new glasses that me and Cody are rocking? Not looking too bad, right? And if you guys are looking for a new pair of glasses, we have the sponsor for you tonight. That is GlassesUSA.com. If you didn't already know, GlassesUSA.com is one of the biggest eyewear retailers in the U.S., offering thousands of eyeglasses and sunglasses such as Ray-Ban, Gucci, Oakley, and many more. What's best about GlassesUSA.com is that glasses start at only $39, which are up to 70% off retail prices. If you love these frames I'm about to show you now, there's a crazy exclusive offer down in the description box below. So if you didn't already notice, I'm actually wearing a pair of blue light blocking glasses right now. GlassesUSA.com offers a collection of advanced blue light blocking lenses. Blue light glasses are ideal for protecting your eyes at home, work, or the outdoors. Using blue light glasses during screen time helps reduce eye strain, decreases headaches, improves your sleep, and increases productivity. And if you're a little concerned about, hey, what glasses should I get for myself? Don't worry, GlassesUSA.com has you covered with their quiz. It only takes a few minutes and it'll suggest the right pair based on your face shape and your personal needs. So if you're wondering what glasses I'm wearing, you've probably seen these on me before. These are the Revel Dans. I love these. I wear them all the time. I also have a pair of Revel Hendrys, same frame, but a little different color style. I also really like these. If I want to go a little bit more flashy, these are what I go with.
I love these Toto Arkish because they have the blue light lenses, and obviously I love them for the style. They're sleek and little inside. Because they're not prescription, I've worn these out before as part of like my outfit. It's a little chic, it's a little edgy, and so I love bringing it when I go out to dinner. And so Christy loves it too. These glasses are incredible. I also went for the sunglasses because you know me and I love my Ray-Ban Visions. And so I went with the Ray-Ban Justin Tortoise. And obviously, as you can tell, it's the real deal. These are legit. And the best thing that I love about GlassesUSA.com is the AR virtual try-on. Now, for me, I'm a big in-store purchase type of person because I want to make sure everything fits. I want to make sure it looks good on me. And this AR virtual try-on is absolutely incredible. It then allows you to see what these exact frames will look like on your face. You upload a picture, line your eyes up, and boom, it's done. It's simple, it's easy, and it's driven me right to these 2 pairs of glasses. Because as I've put other ones on my face during the virtual try-on, I'm like, I don't know if those are for me. And so these are the few things that Glasses USA has to offer on top of their quizzes that really make the purchasing process super simple. And for our listeners, GlassesUSA.com is offering a crazy exclusive discount on top of any coupon codes that they currently have on their website just for Winner's Circle listeners. So make sure you just click the link at the top of our description and get all the details for yourself when you go to GlassesUSA.com to purchase your glasses. So as always, guys, we really appreciate GlassesUSA.com sponsoring this podcast. They're absolutely incredible. We highly recommend you guys go and check them out for yourself. But let's get back into this week's episode.
All right, so we're back. Let's get right into it. Tiffany, start us off.
All right. So Christian finally is outed as a traitor.
Right.
He goes home. Sorry, Christian. We saw it coming episode 1. Just surprised you made it this far, but you did. You better thank
What do you
Suri.
think about it, Tiffany? Did you guys see it coming? Like, I mean, it was kind of writing on the wall, right? Suri was ready to cut him.
He sealed his fate with the lie about the invitation. He just did not have to do that. It was unnecessary. He put a target on his back. People are always looking for some reason to go after somebody for some suspicion. It was very suspicious. Then he starts telling Quentin all this stuff about Suri and Ari. And then remember Ari in the last episode was like, hey, tell us about that letter you got. So he should have known then that he was in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, it was leading up to it. The whole season was kind of leading to this point. But I got to be honest with you. I think if he doesn't do that thing with the letter, I don't know that the heat comes his way.
I agree. I agree.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what I think that really
She was looking
sealed
for the
his
reason he
fate.
gave
He
it
was
to her.
fine. Yeah.
And it also, a lot of people were in the house as the numbers dwindle down. Everybody is way more, their antennas are just up 100% of the time because there's less people to talk to. There's less people around. So like when something happens, you immediately are like thrown off by it. And then because there's less people, you're allowed to have these intimate conversations a little bit easier because you can be separated from the group and talk to people. So I don't think he should have did it. And obviously he knows he shouldn't have did it because it is the reason why he goes home. But I thought overall
he lost not only
he getting that far was pretty impressive.
I will say
that's
it's
what I'm
karma,
saying.
though. You know, what the strategy that he implemented against you and biting him in the ass. It literally was exactly the same way where he was blindsided by his traders at the round table because they wanted the money for themselves. And so, you know, you got to be careful what you wish for. And by the way, he set that tone. I don't think you would have turned on a traitor. I think Suri would have if someone gave her the opportunity. Like if someone started it off, I don't think she would have initiated it. So it was Christian who ultimately said, hey, fair game. We can go after each other. And ultimately that was what led to his demise. It happens.
Yeah. Now it's tough.
So
Tough,
mission,
man.
do we get
That's
right
how it
into
goes.
the final competition, right? Because there's no murder the next morning, right? Christian goes home. They out the traitor. We get into the mission. It's a multifaceted thing where they're trying to collect the money. And we don't really have to talk too much about it. They spoiler alert, they get the money. And this is what I was talking about episode 1, which we didn't really get into too much, is at the end of the day, these challenges need to mean more for season 2 because all that really happened is they didn't accomplish every mission along the season. And then Alan basically said, hey, if you get it today, you get all the money that you would have gotten in the first place. So it kind of defeated, it weakened and cheapened all the competitions other than their entertainment value. So they gotta rework that. I think the competition's got to mean something, even if it's not monetary. It's got to mean something as far as being able to identify traitors or something going on in the game where it potentially exposes someone by playing the game.
Because everybody's playing the same game when it's time for mission because everybody wants to add money.
They're all going for the same piece
pot.
of cheese. You know what I mean? Like it makes no sense for the traitors to sabotage or the faithfuls to go after a traitor during that comp because it only hurts their pockets. So they got the money at the end anyways.
This looked really fun. Are we not going to talk about how Kate and Ari are badass for jumping out that helicopter?
I thought it was pretty cool. I would love to do that. I would love to skydive, but that's a story for a different day.
I was really impressed with Kate. She really turned it around for me. In the beginning, I was like, oh, Kate gets on my, plus she was talking about Rachel's clothes. And I was like,
you're doing too much.
Kate was an all-star.
You're kind of being mean, and I don't like
Let's
that.
be honest. Kate,
it was being
she was my favorite one.
Dude, she was a big character this season. I don't know if they even expected her to be as big as she was, but she
turned it around for me. I ended up like, oh,
I think everyone, you loved to hate her or you just liked her. She had great sound bites, great DRs. She's going to be doing other shows now because she's definitely good TV.
I don't know, man. I think they got them locked down. Like, she's Bravo.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to have her do something with Bravo. They're going to have her do something.
Yeah.
She can be.
She's below deck.
She'll go and be a villain somewhere.
She's going to be on the top of the deck now.
Oh, how you doing?
Yeah, she's going to be driving
I don't know what her... Let me drive the boat. That was one thing that she, when she did that first competition where she's like telling them how to row, nobody was thinking that. She just was like, and they beat us by so much.
Yeah, but buddy,
like,
she's on a yacht. I don't know if you've seen Below Deck. Like, she's on the furthest thing from the boat. Her boat is nicer. The boat that she works on is nicer than the places we live in. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like, it's insane.
Right.
It's insane. It's like a $3 or $4 million boat. But speaking of Kate, because we got a lot to cover, I think we want to cover the end. Kate. We get to the round table, right? They get the money. They're all happy. I think even Kate, like Tiffany was saying, she's jumping out of a helicopter now. I think she feels like, hey, I could actually win this thing. They're not going to send me home. So she starts to participate, but they get to the round table and it doesn't end well. Finally Quentin gets his opportunity to find out if he's been right this whole season. They do the round table.
Pause. Poor Quentin. And his instincts, he probably needs to go back and apologize to people in his past that he was so sure about, because he was probably wrong then. He's been wrong 9 out of 9. But
essentially, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Is that what they say or something like that?
Yes.
But he was not.
Still waiting on him to be right.
He was not. Exactly. He was not right. That's the main point. Even though he got his opportunity, he was not right. Consensus is to send her home. I think at that point, everyone is like, the way Kate's acting, she's got to be a traitor. And I think they all felt like we have to. We would be fools if we don't at least find out. And so they vote. And obviously, Suri and Ari, they're all for this. That's great.
Yeah.
So they vote Kate out. Kate's banished. Kate reveals that she's not a traitor, and to Quentin's surprise. And he was like, damn, okay. And that's it for Kate. But we got 10 episodes of Kate. So from a production standpoint, it's a win. It's a win to produce.
This is where I want to say, like, people need to pay attention to things that are said at these roundtables, because Suri barely spoke, right? Mm-hmm. And Suri ended up speaking up. It was at my banishment where Suri said that Kate was not a traitor. She's like, Kate, I don't think you're a traitor. Mm-hmm. And those are the small things that people need to always fact check, because then all of a sudden you see Suri vote Kate out and Kate's a faithful. And if you're not in tune, because Suri did nothing
That's a great point.
to slip up. She did nothing to slip up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a faithful going on this future season, because I was watching this back and it was like, because when I was there, I couldn't believe how off they were. And it was because the less you say, the harder it is to peg you as a traitor.
Right.
But it was like in subtle things, because Suri was super calculated. And I thought that was an opportunity where, they're towards the end of the game. Suri had said, and it wasn't that much longer. It wasn't that far in the past. It was pretty recently that I just don't, in my heart, I don't think you're a traitor. And then she votes for her. So it's only, at that point, there's only Quentin, Andy, Ari, Suri, and Kate left. But that's really a situation where if you're a faithful, you need to pay attention to small things like that. Like, it's subtle flip-flops like that. Because obviously, what does Suri want to do in that situation? Go with the group. Don't get me out at this point. I don't want to rattle the cage, because I am at a point where I'm about to be at the end and I know these people trust me, so I'm close to winning. And if you're faithful, you have to pay attention to subtle things like that. Like when I slipped up with Kyle and Kyle immediately was onto it. That was weird. Why did you do that? Mm-hmm. The Christian thing was a big thing. It was like a big ordeal. So everybody started getting doubt. But it's like the subtle things to catch the traitors, which is me slipping up to Kyle saying something. Suri kind of flip-flopping when she flip-flopped on Rachel. Then she flip-flopped on Kate because she said she trusted Rachel. Then she thought she was a traitor. Then she trusted Kate. She said she wasn't a traitor, but then voted her out. If you want to be a faithful that can peg the traitors, I feel, and I'm not speaking as a faithful, but Those are the things, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like those are the subtle things that you need to pick up on to be like, that was weird. I remember that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You know, people play with their emotions. Right. And the thing is, they didn't want to trust you, and they didn't want to trust Kate, or they didn't want to trust Rachel. They wanted to trust Sari. She has a trusting nature about her. Yeah. Like you said, there were obvious things that you could have looked at. If you're looking at reason or logic and you take your emotion out of it, there are obvious things that you should question, but they wanted to like her. They wanted to trust her. So they're not looking at the things that she's doing as suspicious.
Yeah. And I feel like Ari got that same kind of, which is why nobody was suspicious of him early. And then when he became a traitor, it almost locked him into getting to the end, because Ari was another one that was like, everybody looked at Ari and was like, super nice guy. Can't see him being a traitor. Where me, although I felt like people kind of wavered to, he actually is nice. Early on, it was, he's a traitor for sure. Like, he's big brother.
People said
winner,
you were training for being
traitor.
a traitor. Somebody said you were born a traitor or something. Like, he's been a traitor forever.
Yeah, this is what he does. And I'm like, oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's those people that can really benefit as traitors where, again, you don't have to say much. When you do speak, make sure it's calculated. And for anybody that's watching, you got to pick up on stuff like that, because a person like Sari is able to completely skate by because just everybody loved her. Everybody trusted her. Everybody felt a warm, fuzzy feeling when they were near her, which makes them miss things like, wait, she just went back on something that she did. And this was like days. Like, not like, 2 weeks ago. It was like days.
Voting patterns. I told you, voting patterns are huge in this game. You have to be watching who's voting together. What are the similarities on it? What can you cross-reference as far as what someone said earlier and how they're contradicting their own words later, like you said, with the vote. So, but again, it's like it's a strategic game, and I think people will learn from your guys' season and kind of adapt as they go. So
awesome.
We'll see what happens. So, okay.
Season will never be topped.
No, hey, listen, season 1.
I'm saying that to you, future season 2s and 3s and 4s and 6s and 9s and 12s.
Until, like I said last episode, until Tiffany and I go on.
But
we're going to win, Cody. We're actually going to win.
Yeah, you are.
We're going to win.
You guys say, man, listen, don't go in there with your heart.
Yeah. No.
You will be.
I mean, did you not see me on Big Brother? I mean,
but I mean,
I leave it at the door.
No, he didn't see you on Big Brother.
Yeah, no, because I was right next to you. I was like, you are a nice guy, Derek.
All right, so
no, he didn't see it.
Let's get into it, because this finale was awesome. This last part was awesome. I was literally cringing as I was watching because it was so hard to watch. But let's kind of set the. You guys have seen it by this point. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Before we even get to the end, there's a part in the middle where I'm thinking of myself as if I am a traitor in this moment, and specifically if I'm Sari, because she's the only one there that started from the beginning. And I'm wondering to myself, how does she feel about playing this game all this time, everything that she's done to get to this point, and splitting that with someone else? Whether it's splitting it with someone else who was in the beginning with me, or splitting it with someone else who came at the very end. And I'm wondering to myself, like, is this because she's telling Ari, like, I want to go to the end with you. It's going to be me and you at the end. I want it to be us. I'm not turning on you. It's going to be me and you. And I'm wondering to myself, like, how real is this? Is this for trust? Is this how she feels? Or is she really thinking, is this what I mean? Am I really going to split this money with him?
Right now? So set the tone.
Yeah. I think she was definitely saying all that for trust stuff, to be
100% to get to the end.
She's so close to the end to be like, I'm not going to let him turn on me. People do trust him, so I don't think they're going to go at, like, maybe if he says something about me, I want to make sure he's never going to say it. We're splitting it. We're a team.
Well, we know it's for strategy because we know anybody watching by this point should have watched the finale. So to set it up, you have Ari, Andy, Quentin, and Sari. And essentially, to make a long story short, there's a fire. At that point, if all 4 of them agree that they've gotten out all the traitors, they throw this thing into the fire, the game's over. And if they're right, they all split the money 4 ways. If there's a traitor remaining, the traitor wins the money. And as we know from the viewer's perspective, Ari and Sari are traitors and Quentin and Andy are not. So what's interesting in this whole thing is it goes around. I'm thinking while I'm watching it, I'm thinking Cerie's dropping it too. I'm thinking she's going to be like, nah, I'm not going to roll the dice. I'm going to split the money with Ari. It's too much of a risk to be greedy here. And how do I get him out without exposing myself? And then she throws in the other color.
Yes.
I think it was red. Green was to end. Red was to
Red. Green
and I'm
was
like,
good.
oh
Red
my
is,
God, how is she going to pull this off where they're not going to know that she's a traitor as well? And so we get a quick snippet of her just looking at Ari deep into his eyes. And she's like, someone hasn't been here the whole time. And he's like, you are right, Cerie. I am not worthy. I quit this game.
Yeah.
I could not believe that.
There's more to the story for sure. And Cody, you stay quiet.
I'm not talking
I'm going to tell you what I think as a viewer because Cody hasn't said anything to me.
Tell me what you think as a viewer.
There were conversations going on behind the closed doors, or maybe not on camera, between Cerie and Ari. I think Cerie was guilt tripping Ari about the fact that Ari he's very wealthy, and I feel like she was setting that up for days because she's a smart player. There had to have been a previous conversation between the two of them where Ari was already kind of under the impression that Cerie didn't feel like he should win the money with her, and she needed the money more than him. Had to be. I mean,
so she's
she's gaming. I'm not. By the way, hats off to you that you convinced this dude to throw away $125,000. But
because instead of them allowing because why wouldn't you just let it play out though? Like still, even though she's saying, I think that there's somebody here who's still a traitor.
He flips and quits and admits he was a traitor. But Cody, I do want you to weigh in on this part because Ari does drop a hint. And I've seen interviews with Ari since the show ended. And he's like, I literally dropped a hint to them subtly and said, I was recruited late in the game. How does Quentin, and I know you're friends with Quentin.
When did he say that? He said at the fire?
I was recruited late in the game to become a traitor. He says that right at the fire. Cody, Quentin's your boy. I don't know how close you were with Andy. I know it's easy to say it in hindsight, but how do they not pick up on it that Cerie's a traitor as well?
So the reason why it's difficult to pick up on that is because as viewers, we all know that there's 3 traitors.
Right.
And this cast was talking about it constantly. Could there be 2? Could there be 3? Could there be 5? Like, how many traitors are there? Nobody knows how many traitors there are. So he could have been recruited by Christian and myself. And so it could have been.
He could have been saying, "I'm the last traitor."
I was the last one remaining late in the game.
But how would Cerie know that?
Yeah.
But Cerie maybe again, you're thinking in terms of like we're watching as viewers, but like Quentin and Andy never in a million years thought they were going to be crossed by Cerie. And so when Cerie was like, I feel like there's somebody that's not a faithful, nobody even voted. Because Ari just excused himself, which I was like pissed at Ari. I was like, why do you just excuse yourself?
So even if Ari is saying, I was recruited I was recruited and maybe all of the other traitors are gone, still, why would he quit? If I am Andy and I'm Quentin and I'm thinking all 3 of us are not traitors.
Yes.
And this is the last traitor. Even if you are the last traitor knows they get the money. The last traitor wouldn't quit.
Yeah. Well, so now think about this. There's a lot. Ari on The Bachelor. Has all this money. He's got money. Which I have no idea what's going on in his. I don't know what his bank account looks like, but I know, the cars he drives all this
and
stuff.
Yeah, he ain't hurting.
So, and Ari is a very nice guy.
Seems it.
Very nice guy. And so now he's sitting there at the end.
So think he was nice enough to bow out.
Yeah.
Y'all split it.
And that's the thing is that he was definitely coming from a place of, I don't want to take this money. There's a lot of other stuff that comes.
I'm telling you, it has to be because
I don't want to take this money.
So if I was Ari and Quentin, I'm thinking this guy was just kind enough to say, I played a fun game. I was recruited late. You guys take the money, split it, have fun.
I don't want to take this money from you. I'm out. And so that's why I don't think it directly correlates to like, oh, Cerie. Because I've thought about this because I watched it and I was like, wow, that made it super obvious. But then I'm thinking about all the conversations that were happening in the house about nobody knowing how many traitors there were. Everybody was kind of clueless. And now, because it's the first season, we didn't really have access to watching the whole Dutch season to see stuff that they maybe could have done. So we didn't get to watch anything where now future seasons are not going to just take that with a grain of salt. if something like that happens, which I don't think it'll ever happen again. But being the first cast, I feel like Andy and Quentin were the only two that could be like, that was weird that Cirie did that. Why did Cirie do that? And why was she so confident? And then why did he bow out? Because there was a lot of other stuff. Again, obviously it's a TV show. They cut out things. They show what they want to show and air it how they want to air it. And so there's a lot to it, which is why I am very excited to see how the reunion plays out.
I am too, because I'll tell you what, Tiffany, you and I watching for the first time, seeing it, that was the most awkward moment I've ever seen, where you have Andy and Quentin thinking their lives have just been changed by Cirie. They are hugging, they're crying, they won, they got there, and so they're thinking Cirie is their savior.
I was crying.
I felt so crying. Weird inside watching it. I was like, oh my God, Cirie, this must be the most troubling feeling for her to process right now, because she knows she just won $250,000.
So she wants to be excited, but she just hurt the two people she has been the closest to in this game, who trust her the most.
It's a great TV moment, man. I'll tell you.
You know what's so funny too? After the fact, like, Cirie wasn't even that close with Quentin.
Really?
Cirie just straight up wasn't that. Damn. And she said it to me. We were like doing the stuff because like something came up. She's like, he was your boy. I wasn't that close with him. And then I'm watching it back. I'm like, why does he trust her so much? Yeah. Because, like, I didn't see him around her that often. Because Quentin
has now been wrong 10 for 10.
10 for 10. He's been wrong. Fucking Quentin. Oh,
10 for 10. Quentin is the only person on Traitors who was wrong every single time.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Wayne. It had to. I was talking to him. I talked to Quentin, and so it was in the early phases. I was he was like, I think he was getting frustrated with how the show was showing how the faithfuls were always just wrong. And I was like, bro, but like, that's what was happening. Yeah. Like, you can't take it personal. That's what it really was.
That's what it was.
But then I said to him, and I gave him my perspective on it. And I was like, so on my side, at least you look like you were an independent thinker and you weren't just going with the group and you were trying to figure it out yourself, going with your gut, your heart, your head, whatever you were trying to go with. I was like, and that's what you need to stick to, bro. And then I think that perspective, and then he was watching it and it started to like, he was like, okay, but that ending had to be brutal on him and Andy. Yeah. I can't even imagine, because again, like you were just saying, there's that, wow, we just got saved from losing the money and now we're going to be splitting it. And I think 250 split 3 ways is like up over like, what is that? Like 80 something, 80 and change that you're going to get. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah, they said no. Cirie said no, thank you.
That's my money.
So I want to ask you this. You know, my season cast from Big Brother, we still have some trauma amongst us. Okay. Yeah. And it doesn't, I don't know when it fades, and we joke about it, we laugh about it, but we still be like, yeah, but that stuff that what you did to me, like, I still don't trust you. Right. I wonder, I actually felt bad for Andy and Quentin because I'm like, will they carry that with them? Like, will they look at themselves? Because even though it's a game, I know people from my season still look at themselves like, was I dumb? Am I an idiot? Did I miss something? Am I gullible? Am I naive? Like, I wonder how Andy and Quentin feel like, do I know anything that I think I know? Like, do I even trust my own decisions anymore? Quentin was wrong every single time. He's got some people to apologize. He's been wrong in the past, I'm sure. He accused somebody of something that they didn't do, and he said, I know for a fact you did. I guarantee you he was wrong at least once because he's wrong here 10 for 10. Like, do you think the trauma or the PTSD or the aftershock is kind of, is it, does it hold the same weight? I have
no idea, because like you like in my perspective, because I've played the games before in the past, so I've done people wrong that I know it weighed heavily on me and I know it weighed heavily on them. Like for instance, cutting Nicole over Enzo, cutting Danny over Nicole, just on 22, like that whole thing, like putting Tyler on the block. He was like, dude, what are you putting me on the block for? Things like that. And I know now being on Traitors, it happened to me. I was like unfazed by it. Like the game itself was traumatic for me, but like being backstabbed wasn't. I don't know how other people handled that.
Do you think it's because you were a traitor?
Maybe. maybe it's because I felt so bad about what I was doing that I almost felt like I deserved it. So I was like, I was okay with it. But
I wonder, how does it feel for Cirie then, like, to win and
so think about it in this
doing
sense.
the backstabbing?
Cirie has played Survivor 4 times. She's never won. Like,
yeah.
And so that, and I think that mentality going into it is what Cirie had and was the edge why she was able to do what she did to me.
Oh, she 100%
Because
did.
you
She
have
said
to.
that at the very beginning.
And I was seeing things happening, and I was saying it to the confessional when I was in there, and I always knew, I was like, Cirie is where I was before I went on All Stars. Like, she hasn't won, and that was me. I didn't win, and I was going in like, I'm not there to make friends. I'm not there to be friends with everybody after the fact. Like, if I'm friends with them, great, but I'm doing what I have to do to win. And Cirie went into this game, I think, with that mentality, and that mentality gives you an edge over anybody that isn't willing to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think she definitely felt bad, because it's like, I don't know that she's heartless, but I think in some sense she was like, I don't care. I care more about the money than I do about us.
She cares about her family.
And
yeah, she cares about her family at home.
Yeah.
So listen, Cirie deserved to win. She was the best. She's played the best game.
She's so deserving.
Congratulations to her for winning. Congratulations on getting that
Totally.
W.
Because well-behaved women seldom make history. Remember that. So you go, Cirie, girl. You won that game. And I'm proud of
She's got the money
you.
now. Hopefully she does some good things with it.
Do you think in the reunion there's going to be multiple people coming out?
I absolutely think so.
Those two weren't the only ones that felt very comfortable with Cirie.
I absolutely think so. I think that things that she was saying behind closed doors to build those personal relationships are going to come out on the reunion show, because Andy Cohen's looking for the drama. And
and so this is what I wanted to see.
Ooh, can you have a +2? Me and Christy can come to the reunion. Huh?
I've never done a reunion, and so I don't know how this is going to shake out. Because like for me, I'm going into it like, if somebody comes at me, like I don't think people are really going to come at me, but two, I think that
you were a traitor.
Yeah, but like, what are they going to say? Like, I was a wreck.
Rachel's coming at
she
you.
Can come at me all she wants. I don't care. But I was a wreck there. And so it's like, I don't know what you're going to really say to me, but if you do, whatever it is, what it is. But like, there's people like, so Cirie had to do it and was cutthroat and won. So I'm like, I know Cirie has had conversations with people after the fact. She's talked to them. They're building a relationship back, or they're building trust. I don't know how it's going to be, because now that probably weighs on people. Like, oh man, I've been so good with Cirie. Do I really want to call her out? And now if somebody does call Cirie out, how is she going to take it? Because on that side of it, it's like, well, I talked to you. I talked to you. We've been good. Why are you calling me out now? Cause dissension.
That's the only thing
that's going to happen, because there's going to be, you already know we're going to get the drama between Kate and Rachel. They're going to give you guys
a couple drinks beforehand.
Brandy's going to come in. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Brandy will come in. She'll probably create some drama. Like, I think Kyle, like, I'm trying to think of how it's going to be, because like Kyle was somebody that was starting to get it right and then got clipped. So now I feel like there's going to be stuff to ask him. Like Quentin could be somebody who was always getting it wrong. Stuff could be asked to him. Christian and I were both turned on. Ari walks away from the game. Stuff can be directed at him.
All that stuff is going to come up. I think it's all going to come up.
And so I'm eager to see what people say. There's only one thing that I want to know, and I don't want to even figure it out beforehand, because I want to see if it comes to light at the thing. I want to know if Ryan remembers saying to me that Kyle thought he was a traitor.
You got it.
I'm like dying to know that, because they obviously, and I always try to envision, because I remember everything about when he said it to me, and I remember who was there, because I'm eager to see if Amanda wants to step up and be like, oh yeah, I remember him saying that. But I don't, because I'm trying to think if there were visually cameras that I could notice where they can like maybe show it. Because like, obviously that was one thing where I was like, Kyle was so hell bent on it. And I want to see his reaction when he sees
that
Ryan
actually happened.
Admit to it, or they have the clip of it. And I'll be like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know what I have to prove. It's like, bro, I wasn't lying to you, but it was stupid gameplay on my part, no matter what. But I want to almost be like, ha.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I'm looking for, I'll definitely be watching.
I don't really care, because it's like, I don't want there to be drama, because like Kyle and Ryan are my boys. I love them.
Cody, there's going to be.
So it's like, I don't want drama.
There's going to be drama. Trust me. Andy's going to make some drama.
Andy Cohen is not coming for no reason.
Can we talk about that too? Andy Cohen being the host of the reunion? I am like,
I wouldn't mind Alan too. But yeah. Andy's going to, he knows how to.
He's the king of that.
He's going to pull stuff. He's going to ask the tough questions. He's going to ask the questions that are
he doesn't care.
Uncomfortable. No.
Yeah.
I'll be watching. I'm sure everybody who's watching this is going to be watching, because we've been doing it all season. We're getting a little long here, but I want to ask you guys one question, because it's something going around the internet right now. Traitors 2 is coming back. Do you want to see all celebrities, all newbies, or the same exact format as before? Tiffany, ladies first.
I was a regular person before reality TV. I love when regular people get an opportunity to showcase themselves. That's how we get to these points. So I'm not opposed to it, but I think that it'd be fun to see the reality people from all different brands come in and play against each other. I think that'd be dope.
Because they grabbed from all networks,
Yes.
CBS, ABC, NBC, Bravo. Like they pulled.
Yeah.
So like they have a Rolodex of people that they can ask. I would like to see kind of along the lines of what you were saying, Tiff. This next season, I would like to see all non-reality people. Just because when you get those people that are on TV for the first time, it almost creates that extra additional drama. Because certain people on reality, if they're weathered in it, they're like, all right, I'm gonna pull back a little bit, or they're like, my character is over the top, so I'm gonna be over the top. That's who I am. When you have newbies come on, it's almost like you don't know what you're going to get. There's going to be people that think, oh, I want to make great TV. And then they don't realize they're just making themselves look like a villain, which we all hate and which is great TV.
Don't talk about Christian like that.
Christian, I was not directing that at you. But that's what I'm eager to see. So I want to say, well, I mean, for y'all, because I know it would be cool to see you, I'll say celebrities first and season 3 regulars back.
And listen, that's where I am. I want to see celebrities all season 2. This is a critical moment. This show could have a franchise where it goes on for 30 seasons like Big Brother, but they got to have the secret sauce again in season 2. And if you look at what the secret sauce in season 1 was, it was all the people who know how to play on TV, who know how to tell it, who know have a soundbite, machine going. They know how to create drama. They don't care. They know how it's going to get edited. They're going to be more willing to speak because they're getting paid either way. Peacock, pull out the checkbook, get a bunch of celebrities in there again, do all celebrities, more people to root for. You're going to get more eyes on it because you're going to have more people in there with a fan base already. Try to make season 2 better than season 1. That's where
they got to know that, though. They got to know that from this first season. The season has killed it. And again, that's because the show the concept of the show is a really addicting show. So people watch it, then they talk to people about it. So many people that have come up to me recently aren't talking to me about Big Brother anymore. No, they're talking to me about Traitors. No, they're watching Traitors. They're like, oh, we watch it. We always talk about it. This is amazing. No, it's like,
it's good. It's great. Yeah. Looking forward to it, guys. Listen, we appreciate you joining us, covering all 10 episodes of The Traitors. We are going to take a little break from now. We don't have any episodes coming, but we're going to pop on from time to time, especially if something happens that's worth talking about. But stay tuned because we do know some things that are coming up in the foreseeable future we'll be covering. And obviously Big Brother's right around the corner. So as always, go ahead, Tiffany.
I got to ask one question. This has nothing to do with anything. This just lets me know how good I am with you two and if I need to find better friends. What color was the dress? Was it blue and black or is it
blue
white
and, black.
And gold?
Oh, that's what I'm going with. Blue and black.
I've seen both of them.
What color is it, Cody?
I've seen both. So, like, it's hard for me to say. I can't remember what the first one that I saw. So, like...
No, you just said something. We heard you. What'd you just say?
I've seen both. Like, when I look at it, I've seen white and gold. And then when I've looked at it, I've seen black and blue. Like, I've seen both, which is weird. It's like...
No, me and Derek saw it.
Blue and black.
Derek saw it. We immediately blue and black. Okay, Cody. So you're the odd man out. We can
promise
go.
we'll have,
or I'm all seeing because I've seen both.
Maybe that's true too. We'll have better content for the future episodes. We promise. We'll make sure it's good. Guys, everyone stay safe out there. We appreciate you joining us on the Winner Circle. We will see you very soon.